You're watching RT now. It's been 6 years since the U.S.-led invasion of Iraq toppled Saddam Hussein's dictatorship, but much of the country is still in ruins with little or no improvement to basic necessities like electricity and water supplies. Some blame that on rampant corruption. Well, let's get now more on this from RT's Priya Sridhar, who is in our Washington studio. Hello to you, Priya.
Hi. Well, it's been 6 years since the United States began its war in Iraq, and today many wonder how things have changed in that country. Well, recently a source has told RT contributor and investigative journalist Wayne Madsen that in reality the infrastructure hasn't changed at all. Iraqis are living with limited electricity and few clean water supplies. So what's going on? The United States has poured lots of money and resources into rebuilding Iraq, but it seems like things haven't changed. Well, joining me to discuss this is Wayne Madsen himself. Thanks for joining me, Wayne. First of all, if you could just tell me, what is the situation like right now in Iraq from what you've learned?
Well, it's very desperate. The temperatures reaching as high as 120 degrees Fahrenheit. People are having to move from upper floors to ground floors because of the tremendous heat. No fans, no air conditioning. They're using some makeshift water-cooled fans running on diesel generators, but that doesn't provide a lot of relief. So the situation with the electricity, especially in these hot months of summer, very desperate. Water is another issue.
So it sounds like, a pretty terrible situation. Why haven't there been improvements?
Well, to sum it all up, it seems like fraud is at the center of this problem. There have been several contracts let to, for one was to build a 500-megawatt power plant. The original company from Texas, which had never done anything outside the United States, received a contract. They didn't perform on that. It was awarded to a group called Washington Group International, which is part of URS Corporation, which incidentally, Richard Bloom, the husband of Senator Dianne Feinstein, has a vested financial interest in this firm. So not much done. People very desperate. The corrupt people in the electricity ministry and the water resources ministry, they're blaming terrorist bombings for the interruptions in supplies. The people in Iraq know much better.
And how would you compare the situation now to what it was, 6 years ago?
Well, when Saddam Hussein was in charge of Iraq, of course, Iraq had one of the most advanced critical infrastructures in the Middle East, and now it ranks down around where Yemen or Sudan is. It's a dysfunctional system, unfortunately, for the people of Iraq.
And, you mentioned a lot of links between the U.S. government and some of these contractors, but, a lot of money and resources are still going over there. Where is this all going once it reaches Iraq?
It doesn't seem like there's much of a change with these contracts that are being let. Lack of performance on the part of the U.S. Contractors. Apparently, there's several U.S.-Iraqi dual citizens in some of these ministries that have a close relationship with the U.S. Embassy and the U.S. Agency for International Development. I'm told fraud is at the very essence of the failure of these contractors and the U.S. government to provide critical infrastructure improvements in Iraq.
And what do you predict will happen from here on out?
Unless we see some action by this wartime commission on contracting, the Webb Commission, to actually hold some of these contractors and the government, U.S. government responsible, as well as the Iraqis, I don't think we're going to see much improvement. It looks like it's going to be business as usual, which is corruption, unfortunately, in Iraq.
Well, it certainly sounds like a very desperate situation, and the world will be watching to see what changes, if any, happen in Iraq. But for now, back to you in Moscow.
All right, Priya, thanks very much indeed for this.